Like, it's weird because, like, in my mind, the concept of non-self makes more sense than if I say it out loud. Interesting. Yeah, it's almost hard to put it into words.
It's okay. It's a little challenging. That's why I wanted to take you. It's like me throwing a curveball at Bree right now. Bree's like, I don't. Hold on.
Here are all the eyes. Did the dart at least get on the board, or was I way off?
It's good. It's good.
Okay.
I don't expect perfection, or it's very difficult when someone asks about the non-self. That's why we're going live right now. I am now live on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook to answer this very difficult question for not just them, but everyone else that is joining and trying to scratch their head every time when they come across the practice of no self. What do you mean no self? No me, no my, no I? Well, how does that work? Well, then what is this thing about me that is about me? Aha. Okay. Go here real quick. All right. Okay. Let me grab this water for a second. It's been a long day. I just came back from the monastery. If you guys are well aware, I am just back to back live streaming while I'm here in Georgia. And today's the honoring of Parents' Day, so I gave talks after talks nonstop.
That's cool. How's everything going in Georgia?
It's good. It's coming along. And then this Friday, I'm going to Arizona.
Okay.
Ooh, for a month.
Just traveling everywhere.
Oh man, yeah, it's going. Okay, so the practice of the non-self. When we look at the five aggregates, how it is a combination and a continuous stream of experience to make up you and your experience right now. The temporary you right now. Of course, we have to use the word me, my, and I in order to describe unconventional feeling adjectives and verbs to let people know what you are doing. It's like, hi Bree, what did you do today? And then you have no choice but to answer you can't say, well, my stream of consciousness is, and the aggregates of labeling says, then everyone's like, wait, why do you sound like AI right now? We asked you for an answer. You sound like Wikipedia going off the hook right now. This is the practice of the non-self is something that through time you slowly internalize. Right now you may understand it on an intellectual level, but it is by and through the practice. It's always been by and through the practice that you understand everything that the Buddha taught. Just trying to understand it intellectually, it would just be half confusing and half understanding and half not, and could also lead to doubt because you're just like, what? Okay, so usually when I give talks on the non-self, I also go back to the human body, and how the human body relates to attachment to the self. First of all, we are most attached to our body. Say yes. We spend billions of dollars on skincare and food, trying to nourish and maintain the human body. There's no other attachment like one's attachment to one's body. Okay. So the Buddha would assert that if you are so attached to your body, and if this is in fact your body, what is yours is under your control. So on the days that you have tests, when you will your body to get not to get sick, does it listen to you when you will it?
Mm.
So of course the answer is no. And it's like, well, how could this be your body? Um, because it doesn't listen to you, right? And this is where the aha moments start coming in. This is when you realize that you're absolutely right. The human body functions due to the causes and condition is that I put food into the body translate the food into energy, it process it, and and you study about the mitochondria and sugar and energy and all that good stuff in biology, and then it will take its course the way that's going to take its course. Granted, if you had the existent, if you had hepatitis or you have any other pre the preconditions that came, then of course that adversely affect your vital organs and you're more prone for illness, immunocompromised, and all these other great, wonderful diagnoses that leads you not to have an effective, efficient body. But for the most part, your body does a wonderful job, a miracle each day, functioning so that you can see, eat, move, run, sing, dance, rest, wake up, and do it all over again. You all agree
Mhm.
that it's a miracle.
Yes.
It's an absolute miracle how the body works. Matter of fact, if you ever get bored and just see the anatomy of the human body and how the body functions, day to day, hour to hour, minute to minute, just the heart alone, you take the heart alone, you're like, well, this thing pumps blood in my body and it never rests. What? How? So
Mm.
again, it's due to causes and conditions that the human body maintains itself the way that it is, and it can also cease. Death is ceasing of the vital organs. It just stops. Sometimes we get into car accidents and the human body stops, because the body absorbs such a powerful impact that it leads to internal organ damage, and then you just go and you end up having dinner with the Buddha very quickly.
Mm.
So therefore, right, a lot of things are beyond our control, and it just takes its course, and it can also cease. It arises and it goes. It comes and it goes. So the human body is the first internalization, intellectual understanding, seeing that it is not under our control. Likewise, if we were to take, everyone's gone to the meat section of the deli. If you're fortunate enough to go into like um, the meat section inside of perhaps a Hispanic store, or certain stores where it's like mom and pop shops. Now, I remember mom and pop shop, where they cut up a pork, a pig. A pork is a pig, and it's like all different parts of the pig or beef. You have round eye, you have filet mignon, you have all sorts of parts. Matter of fact, because I'm not a butcher, let me see. Parts of a cow. Parts of a cow meat. Anyone who wants to put parts of a cow meat in front of your um, laptop today, you will become a butcher somewhere down the line. So you have beef chuck, brisket chuck. So beef chuck is right below the cow's head, like its chin area. Then behind chuck, you have rib. So you have rib eye steak, rib steak. And then behind it is short loin, T-bone steak. And then towards the butt, you have sirloin, T-tip was a tri-tip roast. And then the butt of the cow is called rump cap. And then its tummy, it's short plate primo. And then you have flank. And then you have shank. Shank is where the two last legs are. And then brisket is in, below, kind of like in front of the two legs in the front. It's like, who knows these things, right? I didn't even know. That's why I had to punch it in. So let's say all you wonderful ladies cut up this cow, and everything is all cut up and dissipated for selling, and if people didn't label it, how does all of these parts summarizes the making of a cow? It's when all the
You mean like
parts,
if there were no labels?
right? If there's no label, all the meat kind of look the same. Hi, Vantana.
Yeah, it'd just be a cow.
Yeah.
Right. It would just be like a right. Same thing with parts of a car. If the car looks really nice, what makes it a car? Doors, hood. Underneath the hood, there's the engine, and then here's the top of the car, and then here's the bumper, front, back bumper. Here's the rear. So, but if we took all those parts out and we just threw it all around the junkyard,
It's just a
is it now called a car? Right. So same thing with that's the labeling of a cow, and that's the labeling of a car. And what makes up you? What makes up you as you, me, my, and I? Well, the construction of you is due to, well, then here's your parents that did what they did, and now you're here stuck paying bills. And then there's your childhood. If somebody was angry growing up with, condition you, or what you witnessed, then you became an angry human. If you were bullied, then you have all these extra stuff that comes with you. Your propensity to be, or let me give you an easy example. If mom didn't stick around in the first couple years, then you would have insecure attachment. So then when you grow up and you date, then you have attachment issues, insecure relationships that you involve yourself in. You're just like, I'm not sure if you're going to stick around, Tom, Dick, and Harry, because I'm just really anxious that you might leave me. So this is all rooted because, mom wasn't in the picture, um, to care for you, to be the primary caregiver, to be there when you bid for attention. No one was there. A primary caregiver was not there to attend to that bid. Therefore, you were conditioned to be anxious and ambivalent and ambiguous about how the future might, in fact, hold to your survival. Uh, does that make sense?
Yes.
So the making of you has all of these parts and pieces. Your experience that makes up you. Now, the question today was, um, greed, anger, and delusion is tied back to the sense of the self. And it's exactly what Bree said before I started the live. And Bree says, when something happens out there, we always bring it back to the I. When, let's say, someone cut you off in traffic. I had a student that did that drove me in Orlando. And someone, cut him off. Probably didn't even mean to. But of course, anything that happens outside of a car just seems aggressive. Notice the description, he cut me off. Well, did you ever think alternatively that he didn't probably not even see you? He was inattentive. He probably was looking at his phone. He just wanted to get over. He just needed a lane. He probably needed the far left lane to go fast to go see his wife who's pregnant. Or he just probably needs to use the bathroom, so he needs to, go to the next nearest exit. But suddenly, everyone, that's why we have road rage. People start jumping to conclusions without evidence. And they're like, I can't believe you cut me off. So then what does that lead to? It leads to violence. It leads to unnecessary withdrawal of a 38 caliber pistol waving around. And and if you have family in the car, then of course the aggressor is, that is my family. I am going to protect my family. You cut me off. So I'm gonna threaten you with a 38, whatever. All these happen every single day at our highways. This obviously gives a job for people who have uh the newscast. They just get a kick out of all these types of news, and they run over there and they broadcast it. That's how we know. This is why cognitive behavioral therapy is important. um and Christine, you got a chance to look at the CBT materials, huh?
Um, you, mm, no,
I didn't send it
you
to you.
didn't.
Did we talk about it?
Mm,
Yes, no.
we talked about it, but I did not get them from you yet.
Oh, because wait, I think you sent me email, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh man. All right, my phone's all going live, so I'll reach it. All right. So CBT thinks helps us to understand our mind better by giving us alternatives. Um, so it's um that is conventional explanation of how me, my, and I relates to the activation of anger. Matter of fact, we can also add greed in there too, as one of the three poison, which is the preservation. Greed is desire, the desire to preserve one's family from being harmed. And it quickly led
So
to
can I ask
anger
a question?
because, I'm sorry?
Can I ask a question?
Yes, go ahead.
So with greed being the way you explained it with greed, um, why can guilty be a concept of that as well? Because as an example, um, as a layperson, why would or do I feel guilty when thinking of the concept of I or me? And
Guilty?
there's a passage in the book that. Mm-hmm. So, as an example, for myself, I am desiring or saving up for a future home. But me thinking of that aspect of basic necessities or attaining those things that I need, not only for myself, but also to eventually help others, to me, it made me think of, well, I kind of feel guilty for thinking of I and me.
Well, the Buddha wants you to take care of yourself. Matter of fact, in the Dhammakaya tradition, Venerable Tamachayo have says he starts off with be wealthy, be very wealthy, um, and you have the right to be wealthy. You have the right to take care of yourself and make sure you have a roof over your head, the basic necessities. Where I'm explaining here is excessive desire and and the desire that is fueled by ignorance. And when you look at in our society how certain people have desires, I mean, there's people out there like that breaks into people's cars over $1 because that's burglary, and a person just committed a third-degree felony burglary over $1 in the car because they want that dollar so bad so that they can go buy drugs. We've seen that happen, yes. Right. We've also seen people kill over drugs. Again, a desire to escape reality, buying through the use of drugs, and they will stop at no end to access that drugs by any way, shape, or form and means. Okay. So again, it's when we talk about greed, it's about excessive greed that is fueled by ignorance, not knowing the consequences, not knowing the ins and outs and the blueprint as to why one makes this decision with reason, with reasonable reason, logical reason that makes sense to everybody else. Okay. Makes sense to you and to everybody else. Where the Buddha is concerned about greed is like, do you know why you want this and how badly you want this? Um, and is this justifiable within your means? So it takes a lot of you know thinking there to analyze one's life and what one needs and what one wants and to what extent. You know, there are many families out there that desire to save up money and they just end up cutting off everybody from doing fun things, even family systems. They don't let the kids go to Disney World. They don't let the kids do nothing. They just do the bare minimum that the law requires, and then trying to hoard money for a rainy day. That's obviously desire to save money, but fueled by ignorance, and that's quite extreme. You all would agree.
Yes.
By the way, since I'm live, you all have the ability to jump in and object if you believe I'm wrong. So that makes it fun, so I can read the comments if I'm wrong. Of course, it's a rare thing that I'm wrong, but I also leave the door open just in case I'm wrong or I sound, inaccurate due to lack of sleeping here. Um, so so for example, you talked to someone like me who has been practicing meditation for so long, and as a celebrity monk, I don't exempt praise or blame. And so when the praise and blame comes, I don't take it personal. You got people out there who are Christians who tell me God, Jesus loves me, and I'm like, yes, I know he loves me. I love him too. And you got people out there that think Buddhism is evil and it's sinful. Whatever. No one exempt praise or blame. Even the Buddha himself was subject to all of that. I mean, the Buddha's own cousin, Devadatta, tried to kill him 3 times. Jesus was turned in by his own disciple, Judas. So what makes me think that I exempt praise or blame? So when people call me names, I'm just like, oh, that's great. Tell me more. I attach no meaning to it. I'm just a visitor. The best way to understand the non-self is to see yourself as a visitor. That you came, you're experiencing all of these things. The true nature of life is to be around other people. Other people will be part of your life. That's just the true nature of reality of life. And they're gonna say mean things, and they're gonna bully you, and they're gonna bully you in school, and they're gonna bully you out of school. You're gonna have mean bosses, whatever, or in relationships, you're gonna come across certain jerks, or you're gonna come across certain beautiful people that can change your life. It just comes with the territory. So by seeing ourselves and our experience as we're just visitors, we realize that, whatever happens along the way, I will try my best not to take it personal. And matter of fact, if something not good happening to me could be a direct result of my karma, of which today I gave a talk on karma to 10-year-olds and 11-year-olds. And this is why it's important to comprehensively understand karma also, as it directly relates to the sense of self, that this unfortunate event happens to me. It happened to you. You were a victim of a crime. You were a victim of bad relationship, bad victim of bad parenting, so on and so on. So the effective understanding of karma is very comforting, because or else you would just sit there and blame God, which what people do. Why did God take my mom away from me? Why did God create an earthquake? Why did God, sink my parents' boat? So, people do that out of anger, and again, out of ignorance of not understanding the workings of karma, or at least the basic workings of karma. So we're more at peace. We're more free of disturbing emotions if we learn to let go, me, my, and I, and not the total opposite effect of that, which is the fortification of the self. And of course, you can hear this through speech in other people who are being interviewed. And in America, the emphasis is all about you. You are important. It's all about you, your choice. Like, look at Burger King's motto. You see that? Have it your way. Anyone can come up with any other advertisements that relates to self-centeredness? I'm actually Googling that right now. So
yeah, I'm like trying to think on the fly. What's Starbucks?
Same. Well, they really don't. Well, their advertisement is just that star, that looking cup.
Let's see.
Customization of things that you want really is Starbucks. You can have a drink any way you can think of for the most part.
Did you call it like a catchphrase?
Oh, how about J.G. Wentworth back in the day when they're like, it's your money. Use it how you want to.
Mm-hmm.
It's so catchy. Like if I remember these things, they aim specifically at the self. You see that? Well, technically, let's use money, right? Is it actually your money? What is money?
Oh, if you think about it like that, doesn't Progressive do something similar?
They do. They do.
All right. So if I get sniped, Donald Trump assassination attempt. So if I get sniped by big corporations, you know why tonight.
Good to know.
So money doesn't exist. You all agree to that. Professor Yuval Noah Harari says, we made up this thing called money, and it is a system of trust. It's like, let's print these papers, and if I give you this paper, you give me food, and then you can take that paper and go elsewhere and exchange it for somebody else for gold and stuff like that. So it's a system of trust. So the financial system, in essence, is a system of trust. Okay. But people mistaken that somewhere down the line, they think that, the United States dollars that I have sitting in the bank right now will never go down in value. You're wrong. Matter of fact, my country is very sensitive to this fact because they invest in the dollars, gold and the dollar, because they just hope that the value of the dollar goes up and they're like, yay, we're winning. And then when the dollar goes down, they want to jump off the bridge. So then again, advertisement and attachment to oneself and an additional attachment to material things as such. My money, my Bitcoins. Yeah, look at what happened to Bitcoin.
That's true.
It's not really yours. It's not really yours. Something they made up. You bought into it, and now you are subject to impermanence of it.
Because it does always change.
What a big oops, Felicia. What a big oops. You have miscalculated. So therefore, again, so this requires a lot of creativity and outside research. And, what the Buddha taught, you're supposed to screen in the world, what they're trying to do to you, and how it fortifies a sense of you. So, so once again, so like I said, the opposite, Buddhism teaches you to let go of your sense of self. It's not you. It's not who you think you are. It's just a bunch of combination of experiences that makes up this experience right now that you're feeling. Again, just look at the 5 aggregates, and hopefully Bree can zoom in or take better pictures, readable pictures for you to see that I'm not back at my place. Maybe tomorrow maybe tomorrow night, if Christina, you want to 8 p.m. If you want to text me, I'll take pictures. I'll take pictures of it so I don't forget because I'm traveling so much. And I'll go through the 5 aggregates again with you next week. But really, really try to take up on a lot of videos on the explanation of the aggregates and try to understand. So by the time I jump in and explain to you, it'll be a piece of cake rather than having to dissect. It's no different than you thawing that meat. You took this meat on the freezer and I'm asking you to thaw it. Bring it out of the freezer and let it thaw so that when we cut into the meat, we don't have to sweat and it can just slice like butter. So no different than the research and understanding of that. You want to prime yourself so that when I just jump in and give my words of wisdom, a light bulb turns on right away.
Okay.
So again, so the total opposite of not letting go is the constant fortification, the extra. Don't be extra, and then buy into what the world is trying to condition you all about you. it's just look at skincare. Since I decided to attack that in the beginning, it's like, yeah, skincare does work, but for how long? You know what I mean? For how long? You're gonna spend 50 something dollars for retinol with now the new peptides ingrained into it, and ingrained into it, um, in hope that you would have deep and everlasting dolphin skin. The idea now of marketing dolphin skin, and dolphin skin is smooth and shiny and it doesn't wrinkle. That's a dolphin. And you can achieve that by buying this particular peptide dash 24 retinol night cream, anti-wrinkle, $56.99. People do that. People really think, fooled, easily, instantaneously fooled out of ignorance, thinking that this is going to last that long, rather than seeing the three marks of existence, that they're subject to change. It's not always satisfying, and it is not under their control all the time. You know, we are subject to birth, old age, disease, decay, and death. Notice old age, disease, disease of the skin disorders, skin cancers. Just look at dermatology diagnosis, and you're gonna find out all sorts of skin um, defects. And, let's see what else. Yeah, so hopefully that makes sense. And by not identifying with yourself, too much attachment to yourself, then anything that comes along the way, you're pretty much bulletproof to what life is trying to do to you. Life and people in life try to manipulate you because you have an effective understanding of the three marks of existence.
Mm.
Does that make sense? Any confusion in between those lines?
Mm-mm.
No? Okay. Bree, you understand fully?
I wouldn't say fully, but it definitely makes a little bit more sense now.
Mm. Someone just asked me if it's okay for them to kill a wasp in their room. No. If you kill that wasp, bad karma, and you may be subject to physical pain because you cause pain to another living being. Pain will happen to you. I am not karma. Karma will never forget an address. So.
Yeah, I use things like that as almost like a challenge. Can I remain calm enough that it won't sting me?
Mm.
Mm.
Channel the Buddha.
Mm.
One question I did have, because you were touching on skincare and like dermatology and stuff like that. So there is a difference between, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I guess my question is, there's a difference between like skincare that would be considered like cosmetic, and then skincare that would be considered like health, like getting a yearly checkup on your skin just to make sure that there's no like cancer or anything. There's a difference between those two things, right?
Right. That's why I use skincare and not sunscreen. There's a big difference between what I said about, anti-wrinkle and sunscreen. Sunscreen you need to prevent skin cancer.
Okay, that makes sense.
Right? Thank goodness I have a background in medicine, or else I would sit here and say, get it all wrong.
Especially a lot of people in the States need to hear the importance of sunscreen, so you're spreading a good message.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
As a matter of fact, if you do in fact want to look young, it's the sunscreen, not the $56 peptide dash 24 blah 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 that's on the market right now. God, every time I go into Sam's Club, I always hit up the section for toothpaste, and you always see these new retinol creams and all sorts of creams. What a big scam. To think about it, you apply the cream, but if you're internally stressed out, you will have cellular changes that will lead you to faster aging. And there's nothing these cream can do for you to take your stress away, and the stress that's on your face that subsequently will manifest.
Mm-hmm. Point.
That's some word to wisdom right there. You just save a bunch of money on your car insurance by switching to GDAO. Wait, let me rephrase that. You just saved a bunch of money on skincare products by switching to GDAO. let me twitch that around. You just saved a bunch of money on unnecessary skincare products by switching to GDAO. I expect $56 checks from both of you at the end of this talk.
56. That's very specific.
I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
It is. It's also fun. It's interesting. Well, I think it's also because I have this talk with my the older women in my family a lot, because there is that pressure to maintain like this youthful skin, your entire life, and I feel like that is also like a really good example of just attachment in general, not necessarily to the skin, but the idea of youthfulness, that you're somehow better when you're young, and that aging is this thing to fear, and it's bad. And I've always found that conversation with the women in my life very interesting. I was concerned about their crow's feet and their laugh lines, and
so
I'm like, well, what are you gonna do? They're not going away.
So there are two routes you both can go with this, the study and practice of Buddhism. One, you can go back and really try to fully understand what on earth is the five aggregates, the self, the non-self, or you just put all of your faith and confidence in me, and I teach you to meditate. I tell you to let go if you ever get into a breakup, and you just simply let go and not duel with me. And then, you will look young, feel young, be young, to be more versus than to have more. Boom, done. Enlightenment, you're at peace. Done. Well, one thing so we're doing this website. Matter of fact, let me send it to you guys so you guys can be like ooh and ah, because it's really ooh and ah for real. There is a man in this.
Yeah, I was gonna ask about it.
Did you see it?
You sent it to me earlier.
Yes. Let me tease Miss Christine.
Freedown.org.
Don't say it. It's a surprise. Don't say it.
Sorry, I didn't say anything.
Don't say it. I don't want anyone else jumping on there yet because it's still under construction right now. But
I'm sorry, I forgot we were live.
There's a teaching to this. Boom. All right. So Christine, you want to click on that? It's coming over right now.
Okay. Oh.
As soon as you're done scrolling for fun, don't click onto anything yet. Just scroll it down, just initial impression.
Oh, this is nice. This is very nice.
So good.
Yes. Mm-hmm. I can't comment on it too much, but I definitely like this. Very, very nice.
Okay, so
yeah, keep it vague
and simple.
Okay, all right. So a lot of programs right now is happening, and recently there's new people merging into my social media, so I had to use a lot of I statements. I, Venerable Qidao, is blah 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 blah. And if you ever listen to them, you always catch me saying it's not about me, it's about you guys. Of course, because I'm going through my summary of qualifications of 23 years of meditation and 19 years of clinical experience. It's like bragging. It sounds like bragging for those who don't know me. You know what I mean? So every time when I do a disclosure like that, and I know that it treads me, my qualifications, my meditation, blah, 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 blah. I always tell people that just so that if we have any experienced practitioners, they understand that I'm fully aware of the practice of the non-self, and that I'm utilizing right speech in the Noble Eightfold Path, consistent with monastic code and modalities. Okay, so this website right here, it looks really ooh and ah. It looks pretty cool. But in the end of it all, the following statement, it will be true and correct for you and for all, which is, I assert that if you let me guide you, your life can change. As a matter of fact, it can change in one day. So, like, so for people like who've hung on to anger for so long, for like 60 years, and if they ever to meet me for one day, and if I tell them to let go, and that, well, at first there's going to be some resistance because they're going to be like, well, why should I let go? I hang on to keep me safe. I hang on because it's boundaries for me and my mother, or my father, or my siblings, whatever. But once I give my reason behind why you should let go for the sake of your own peace, and if a person lets go, then their life is changed in one day. You all agree?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, so there's that two didactic modalities of teachings here. So, of course, we're having fun with the teachings, and right now there's no urgencies for me to jump in and um, tell you all to do that. But Vipassana meditation came along in the days of Ledi Sayadaw, who brought Vipassana to all of us. And then down the line of that teaching was Sayathat Ubakin. I think it was Sayathat that I think he had like a third grade level education. I can't remember, and people need to do the research to verify, to concur with what I'm saying. But think about it. A lot of people that became arahants did not have a PhD historically in Thailand and in Burma. So why and how? Simple. They trusted, they had faith in the teachings of the Buddha. They let go, they lived simply. Keyword, live simply, and you will become an arahant. That's it. All this intricate understanding, intricate complexities of explanation all goes out the window if you just let go. Let go of things not meant for you. That's it. So you hang up the phone, you walk out, somebody calls you the B word. It wasn't meant for you. Let go. Don't teach them a lesson. Don't get mouthy with them. If you ain't got nothing good to say, don't say anything at all and just let go. Right? What they do to you is their karma. What you do to them is their karma. If you hang on, it'll cost you peace. If you don't hang on, then you just a visitor. So
Mhm.
I just wanted to give this disclosure for this particular questions, of the simplicity of the practice that could in fact lead you to enlightenment quickly. Okay. All right. Next question.
Um, okay. Do you mind if I go, Bree?
Yeah, yeah, no, you're totally fine.
Okay. This question is page 158 of chapter 25, and it's stated, the statement says, when our minds meet with the outside world, it is merely the meeting of emptiness with emptiness. And my question is, how so?
Say that again.
When our minds meet with the outside world, it is merely the meeting of emptiness with emptiness. And so my question is, how so? Can you elaborate on that statement the Buddha gave?
Everything is empty in life. You are empty. You started off empty. You started off empty until somebody said something in that room. You were born, so you were sort of what a blank slate. Of course, there's genetics that is attached to your DNA, RNA, all the good stuff that will comprise your personality, nature, style, disposition, propensity, and prone to do certain things. But technically, you're kind of like a blank slate. Now, if people jump in and start being mean to this baby, then baby's gonna grow up to be mean. Simple. If people jump in and try to be helpful and loving, kind, and like, accepting, then the baby will grow up to be as normal, healthy, and loving as one can imagine. You started off empty. We all can agree this statement.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Yes.
And then the world try to condition you. What about religion? What makes your religion religion? What makes your political affiliation left wing, right wing? What makes you gay, straight, bi, trans? What makes you a woman? What makes you a man? What makes you kind? What makes you ugly? Now we can see that we're not so empty after all. Now there's so much extra on top of us, meanings and labelings and stuff like that. And so it's the world, right? So that's you. That's the making of you, construction of you. And then what is emptiness with the world? Well, the world is empty. We used a couple of examples, such as the money. Money doesn't exist, so therefore it's empty. Humans attach meaning to this piece of paper, put George Washington on there, and then it becomes a dollar. Like, what? Oh, that's great. Sounds pretty delusional to me. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we started off empty. We started off like Adam and Eve days, where there's gardens and there's parks and there's deers, and then we put cement down, concrete, and then we called it a city. What gives you the right to call this thing a city? Well, everybody got together and just decided, it's a city. Let's vote on it. And then we started voting for people. And then it's like, what makes a president a president? What gives you the authority and power to run this country? Who exactly do you think you actually really are? Likewise, that same statement I just made also destroy one's ego. Exactly. Once your ego gets so up there, when you are a senator or a congressman or a president or a vice president, or not even like the systems of government, but you're the president of the university, and then you get on your little high horse trip, then you get this little short Asian monk coming along and knocking on your door and saying, "Excuse me, I'm just wondering, who exactly do you think you actually really are?" Right? And if we ask ourselves that question right now, like right now, here in the now, we realize we're nothing. Someone gave us that title, or we made it up, or we just attach meaning to it. We're just a visitor. Do you, the president, die? Are you subject to death? Yes. Are you subject to impermanence? Yes. Are you subject to suffering? Yes. Can anyone else control you? Sometimes, but not all the time. So the world is empty. You are empty. The world is empty. So when emptiness meets emptiness, you have peace. You have nothingness, which is another difficult concept for people to be like, what? This is why I only target smart students, because somewhere down the line, at least they get at least 70% of what I'm talking about. Does this make sense to both of you?
Yes.
Yes, it does.
Do you now have reason to believe that I may in fact be a Buddha? Who exactly do I think I actually really am? But no, in all seriousness, that is the teachings of emptiness, nothingness, like nothing. So when you meditate, actually, this is how you know you're gonna start treading sainthood, of Sotapan, or the four stages of enlightenment. Is that when you meditate and there's nothing, there's no emotions, there's no thoughts, it's just you and the breath, and that's when you realize, whoa, I have really wiped my plate up pretty clean, as clean as it is ever gonna get. Or along the way of meditation, of mindfulness of the breath, which is also known as stopping or calming meditation, but it's we can interchange that with stopping. And vipassana is also looking. Stop and look at what? The three marks of existence in your thoughts, feelings, actions, and everything else. So again, it takes practice for you all to realize nothingness. And there's multiple times in my previous live talks where I disclose of my own experience, where I now sit, meditate, and I feel nothing. I see nothing. I'm just there with my breath. And it's like, wow, that's peaceful. I don't have to think about, Tom, Dick, Harry, Felicia, DeQuisha. I don't have to think about bills. I don't have to think about this and that. And if I do, in fact, have to think about bills, is because it's reasonable that I don't miss my due date, so I don't get, a late fee. But other than that, a lot of people obsess over the future, obsess over the past, and that is not nothingness. That is not emptiness. That is full. That's full of worries and anxiety, anguish, lamentation, depression, and all the things that the Buddha described. So that's why my favorite quote is let me read it directly so I don't misquote. But no, that picture's not even there. But the Buddha said this, and this was like my quote. This was like my thing. He says, "I know nothing of than a mind that has been brought under control." Hold on, I hold on. Let me move the words around a little bit. I know nothing of that brings such joy, peace, liberation, and freedom than that of a mind that has been brought under control. Period. Buddha. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Mm.
Mhm.
So, anyways, so yeah, so that's so if when you practice stopping and looking, samatha and vipassana, by through the skillful instructions of a qualifying teacher, then you realize that, oh, okay, slowly I see that my plate is less heavy, my shoulders less heavy from all of the conditioning of life and what life did to me. And I will not hold you accountable for using the word me, my, and I in that statement.
Mm.
Yeah. Makes sense, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Any additional follow-up questions or anything?
Mm. Hmm. Well, I'm gonna just go down this rabbit hole. You were bringing up concepts of you're bringing concepts of being just a visitor. So in the very last part of chapter 25, when the excuse me, when the Buddha states, "Before I was born into this world, did I exist? After death, will I exist? Do I exist when I sleep, or do I exist only when I wake up in the morning? Do I exist only when my mind is at ease, or do I exist only after my body starts to break down?" And when I read that, and then you mentioning about us basically just being a visitor, to me and how I comprehend that message, we are visitors. I mean, our conscious is, because we don't know how we are when we're sleeping. We don't know per se, like you said earlier, how our body mechanics are breaking down or re-evaluating or whatever the cells do during the day when we're going about our daily lives. So to me, you keep saying visitors, and I don't know, for some reason that resonated with that passage.
Absolutely.
I could be wrong though.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Bree, you have anything to say? Or you want me to continue talking?
Well, I was gonna say, like, yeah, the part about that paragraph that really stuck with me was the next part down, where it says the Buddha continued, "If the self exists,
Yeah.
what is the point of practice? If all things are not existent, what is the point of seeking liberation?
Yeah.
Truth be told, in this world, I have done nothing, and nothing can control I. All things merely accord with one's own karma."
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Causes and conditions.
Yeah.
That was a really good passage, though.
So
It really was.
eventually, you guys are still beginners. Bree treading the line of no. You both are still beginners because I haven't declared you guys intermediate yet. So when you get into intermediate and start to become hardcore Buddhist, you will draw a global conclusion about all of the teachings slowly. And hopefully you arrive to the same place where I'm at, which is all I know is to dedicate my body, speech, and mind for the benefit of other people, regardless if I wake up tomorrow or don't wake up tomorrow. Most evidently, a couple days ago, no, the California case. There's a reason why I started to just bring everyone with me. Um, it's like, why is he firing up his life so often nowadays? And in the midst of his travels and in the midst of his exhaustion and his delivery of the Dhamma to people, um, it's moving so fast. I don't even have time to think. So I just carry you all with me. That's what I call it. I'm carrying you all with me to you all can see what's happening with engaged Buddhism, my program of engaging clinical Buddhism. So when I came back from California, I couldn't sleep because I was trying to debrief my mind about, did I in fact actually fix this family in 2 days? What is the potential and likely chance that they will that the situation will arise again, and that in fact my teachings was not that effective? So it's a bunch of what ifs. So indeed, I was not at peace. So I stayed up and I really tried to take on this case, and I did it actually. Came back at 6, worked at 9 to 10, and after 10 in the morning, I declared myself clinically dead. And I did. I died on the couch at my dad's office for 4 or 5 hours of supreme exhaustion. And I woke up and I still don't know, very disoriented where I am, where I was. And nor do I actually really care if I wake up or not. I have died to myself. So does all the priests that wear that uniform. Remember? Bree comes from the Catholic family. I've been teaching the Catholics lately. Remember the uniform they wear? They're all black. They have died to themselves. Their ordination, they lay down on the floor. They're laying down their life for Christ. So if they actually die in their sleep, they are content that they will in fact meet Jesus and is saved. So, anyways, hopefully when you guys get to intermediate level, and these are beautiful lines that you have read, and slowly down the line you realize that, yeah, it's great that I'm here, and it's also great that I'm not here, or if I don't wake back up. And that's why we teach you all to live life victoriously every single day, to dedicate your body, speech, and mind for the benefit of other people, because you don't know when your next moment arises. Also, when I'm out and about giving teachings, like here in Atlanta, and I hit my live, there are some things I say in there that will cut into the non-self. That it's like, it's very deep. It's very emergency medicine Dhamma into their veins, because I'm trying to affect change within a matter of hours in a day. That's it. If I only have 4 hours with you, you're going to get the best dharmic medicine the world has ever seen, Buddha medicine the world has ever seen. So that's why I fire up the lives when I'm out and about, because that's it. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to tell you. And like, you all are getting it right now, of which I said, you never know when your next moment's going to be. So dedicate your body, speech, and mind today, moment to moment, so that you clear your karmic debts. You don't create additional negative karma that could roll over into your next life. I believe that. I live that. Someone's going to call me delusional. Have at it. But that's what I believe. And I live that. And if I die, well, I guess I carry that with me, and I'm at peace with that. So, does that all make sense to you guys?
Yes,
it does. It does.
Any clarifications I need to make on that one?
No.
Pretty deep, huh? I'm glad I'm recording this so you all can go back to it and just, because it could be a little bit difficult to digest.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very glad.
Yeah. Yeah. Very, very good chapter in this book.
Since Christine is trying to make her way down here, end of the year, which is the perfect time for me to meet with this Rinpoche, this 30-year-old saint, I swear he's got to be fully enlightened. I swear. And only to both of you, I'll send you his link. Only to you guys, exclusively to you guys, only to you guys. I want you guys to profile how he explains the mind. And if I am impressed, then all 8 billion people needs to be impressed. Because if I'm not impressed, we have a problem. Well, I mean, so I want you, but if you're looking forward to see me at the end of the year, I'm merging with this Rinpoche, who was declared a lama when he was like, Lord knows, I don't know, a couple years old. So he was by noble. I don't know how they adjudicated, but the Vajrayana tradition have a very distinctive way of looking at noble markings and if the child is in fact of noble birth and what he will become. Well, obviously they didn't make a mistake because the young lama has caught my attention, so that means the elders were not wrong, and we're not even from the same school of Buddhism. So for me to even merge with someone from a different school of Buddhism, oh, he's really got to make a clear, compelling, evidentiary, scientific case. So you all can look forward to that as a bonus.
Okay, sweet.
Free for a limited time offer only while supplies last. J.G. Wentworth, it's your money. Use it how you want to. I hope you guys laugh as much as I do. Any other questions regarding relating to Buddhism?
No, not at this time. Those are all of the questions I have for this session.
Mm.
And I actually had a question because I am rereading back through the life of the Buddha again. And something caught my eye this time, and I just want some clarification. Clarification, that's right. So this is on page 80. Evil one, what end have you in view that you address me thus? Lord, the four bases for success have been constantly maintained in being by the Blessed One. Constantly practiced, made the vehicle, made the basis, established, consolidated, and properly undertaken. And so, Lord, if the Blessed One were willing to resolve, let Himalaya, king of mountains, be made of gold. It would become a gold mountain. I was curious on what the four bases for success are.
I don't know. I'm going to look it up.
Oh, okay.
That was pretty impressive, right? Are we sure he's a monk?
Yes.
Who exactly do I think I
Google
actually...
is everyone's best friend.
Who exactly do I think I am? A scholar? Don't think so. The 84,000 teachings, it's a lot. And the older I get, the more I'm like, what? So I have to look it up. No different than you go ask your medical doctor if this medication is appropriate for a pregnant person. I'm telling you, he's going to look it up. He's not going to know on top of his head. So, what? It's trying to search, but it's not searching for bases of success.
There's a little number. I wonder if there's like a note somewhere.
Okay, so I think this is it. The Idipada. Oh yeah, the other monks gave talks on this, and I never actually expanded on this. That's why I don't remember it. Dang it. It's called the Idipada. So in previous monastic bi-weekly discussions, so the first one is Chanda. Intention or purpose or desire. You guys can look this up. Put 4 bases of success on Google. 4 bases of success. Wait, I shouldn't make this too easy for you guys. I'm gonna let you guys investigate these 4 and then tell me about it next time we talk.
Yay!
Okay.
I will say that my favorite is the second one, which is Viriya.
Ooh. Sounds pretty.
Effort or energy or will. Again, because it describes the entirety of the practice. You gotta have energy and effort. Because kids nowadays don't want to even get out of bed. So there's no Viriya. And this was always like my key. This is one of my motto is Viriya. Every time we chant Iti Piso Bhagawa. Oh my god, let me see if I can remember. what is the Sampano chant? Why can't I remember? But Viriya Paramatta Parati Sampano iti piso bagawa Viriya Paramatta Parati Sampano. Yep. So when we go through the all of the good qualities to be cultivated, that so I stop on dead on that one right there. Dead on that one, Viriya. So I just wanted to throw that out there so you all know what's my thing, my little pet peeves. Let you all dive and sink your teeth into it, and then next Sunday I'll let you guys be the educators and I'll be the student.
Oh, well, could I read the note that was in the back of the book?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, so the note goes, the 4 bases for success or roads to power are described as the basis for success that has concentration due to desire to act and has for its determination the endeavor to control. That is the first. The other 3 substitute respectively energy, natural purity of mind, and inquiry for desire to act. They represent 4 types of approach to development according to idiosyncrasy. Ooh, this sounds exciting.
Yeah, and I think I just found some sort of a cheat sheet here, so you both gonna get it here shortly. So God, I make this too easy for you guys. All right. Well, anyways, I expect if I make it easy, I expect a full comprehensive and understanding of it. So try to impress me. Keyword: try to impress the teacher.
All right.
All right. Anything else before we conclude?
I did have a question, but I did want to just read this little passage that I read on 84 that kind of caught my eye. And it, who has no longer conflict lurking in him will have surmounted all the kinds of being, for he is fearless, blissful, free from sorrow. No deity can vie with him in glory. And I just felt like that was a great conclusion to the non-self discussion today.
Yes. Very good. This is why we put all the minds together. My mind, your mind, her mind. And you see, when all the great minds come together, you understand it a lot easier. And if I miss something, so one of you can be like, definitely not. So self-correcting institution. All right. So we will reconvene next Sunday, huh?
Yes.
Wait. Let me pull up the Rinpoche's profile for a second and then send it to you all.
Oh, yes. I was going to ask about that.
Okay.
I have spoken to him like 3-4 times on FaceTime, so.
Oh, that's cool.
Using my secret stalking account. I'm just kidding. That sounds really creepy. But all my young students, when they use whatever Snapchat, and they're like, "This is my secret stalking account," and I'm like, "Oh wow, well, you're gonna be in Buddhism for a while." So
when I was in high school, there was, I don't even know what it was called, but people would have like their main Instagram account, and then they would have an Instagram account that had like all either their bad pictures or like pictures they didn't want their parents seeing. I don't remember what that account was called. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Old. No, because I remember MySpace. So
I mean,
no.
Yeah. I had a MySpace. Honestly, I missed MySpace. That was way better. But
It really
my sisters had those.
Bree has been stalking me since MySpace days.
Yes.
I swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth. So help me God. This is my affidavit for complaint towards the state attorney's office. All right. So if you all click on that link that I just sent you all, this particular center invited him to give a talk. And I want you all to have an open mind. It is very lengthy in its succession of talks. There is a succession of talks. But I guarantee you, or your money back, that you will get something out of each talk. Because, I mean, if you sit there and even take notes, and if you surprise me with what you got out of his talk, I will send you a secret Dhamma book that I'll select for you. So if you impress me enough, you will receive a gift from me through the United States Postal Service. So All right, so that's my challenge for all
Hopefully,
of you.
we'll
You
get
have,
lost this time.
yeah, right. No, Bree, that's your karma, Bree.
I know.
Bree lost a box of like 5 books in there. I until this very day could not stop crying.
Me
And the
too.
worst, you know what the worst part, Kristen, was? The worst part is that UPS delivered it to somewhere in my apartment complex, and the individual that it delivered to, instead of kindly dropping it off at my door, they decided to shred the box, take the contents inside, and then leave the box outside the ground. So I found the box, but with nothing in it. So I hope their karma catches up to them.
Well, maybe they really needed
Justin, you guys just get done swimming? Oh my
That's
goodness.
what I was thinking too, Kristen.
Oh my goodness. And I'm getting done. You guys
I was
swim
like,
that
hopefully
long?
they needed it more than I did.
Till 9 o'clock at night? Oh my gosh.
But that is sad.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, I was so upset.
So yeah.
I was so upset.
Kids are
I
back.
was like, oh my gosh.
Okay.
Sounds like we're swimming.
Kids got done swimming.
Mm-hmm.
These are the kids I'm counseling.
Nice.
All right. Okay, cool. Awesome. All right. So try to sink in, because you're going to be meeting him if you're going to come around that time, and it's going to be one heck of a party when all 4 of us get together. So whatever you learn from his talks, and if you impress him with it, you're going to see a certain particular reaction. Again, watch how he reacts in his videos. You're going to get a kick out of it, and you're just going to see the amount of adoration and the significant level of respects that people give him. He's 30 years old. He is like Pope in their tradition. He's like a young Pope in his tradition. So I couldn't, raise my level of excitement, the virya, in the end of this talk with both of you. So my blessing for both of you, and we will reconvene next Sunday. Okay.
Okay, sounds good.
Sounds good.
All right. Take
Thank
care.
you.
Bye-bye.
Have a good night, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Okay. Anyone have any questions here that you guys want to type? Oh my God, the kids just came back. Oh, I can't believe they swim till 9:30. What? I was taking a nap earlier, and they're just now done swimming. How? I can't believe they just now going back to swimming. That's actually crazy. When your dad was talking, when I was thinking that at the airport, I swear it was in my head. I'm like, this is Anyone have any questions so far? Do we have any questions here? No questions. I don't see any questions besides Instagram. Let me pull this over here. What is this, Instagram? Sometimes Facebook, Instagram look same. Still with the wasp. Oh my goodness. Too much, you guys. How did I become a monk? There's a video on it. So if you go on YouTube and you put why I actually became a monk and put my name, the video will pop up. Why I actually became a monk. And then Jidao, TRIDAO, that will pop up. It's a whole hour and a half, I think. So I think I don't have anything else. I can't believe the kids just came back. They swim that long. They swim better than Olympic swimmers. I'm gonna go talk with the family out there, and then if I give another teachings tonight, we're just gonna be like the 4th teaching in the whole day. I'm starting to like coming up here and have more time to serve all of you and to talk to all of you and to share these moments with all of you. So I hope you all get a kick out of tonight's discussion on the nonsense. It was like 3 very important subjects in one setting today. So if you missed it, you might want to come back to the beginning of it here on YouTube and Facebook live. And just wanted to give a shout out to all of the current supporters into my program. And this is what happens. This is what I call Your donations at work. See, it puts the monk to work quickly, fast, gets a lot of things done, and the ability to rest and redo it all over again. So I'm hoping to come back into the city tomorrow morning, and then an ordination on Tuesday. So we're still working out the details of that, but gives all of us here something to look forward to. May you all be well, be happy, be free, and always be healthy until the very next time. Sa tu, sa tu, sa tu.